There we go. Hi! I hope everybody is doing well. I'm actually just gonna go straight into it. I'm not gonna lie, I've been playing so much Minecraft, I almost forgot that I had a stream today. I looked at the time and I was like, oh my god, it's 5:45, I'm cooked. If I remember correctly, I'm supposed to be fighting Hornet now, so now I need to relearn my controls. I think she's up here. Yeah. No practice, I'm just gonna... We'll figure it out. Last time I played this took me so long, so I'm not feeling confident. I've seen you creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. This old kingdom, a terrible thing awakens. I can smell it in the air. I know what you are. I know what you try to do, and I can't allow it. Okay, okay. Okay. I'm learning her. Hold on. I'm learning her moves, and Corduroy is. Hold on. Corduroy is messing with my phone charm. Buddy, that can't be comfortable. He's laying on my books. Let me put this. What's this? ASMR. Hi, Ruber. You have this too, Corduroy? Actually, Raisin eats paper. I'm not gonna throw more down. Okay, so let's try that again. I just like moved a bunch of books off my desk for Corduroy. You just got home. Whoa! Straight from work. Thank you for joining. I know it's been a tough day. I'm locking in. Okay. Okay. Oop. Oh man, I forgot about healing. I forgot about healing. Okay, wait. Her mechanics are not as difficult as I thought. Maybe I was just 15. Yeah, I was too locked in. Let me see. I wish I had the bank unlocked. Oops. Immediately lost that. Okay. Damn. Yeah, okay. This one almost feels a little bit more forgivable than the last one I struggled with. I'm getting it slowly. Sure. What is it? Adino? Hikale. She's so cute. I seriously love her design. My heart's racing. I'm trying really hard. Okay, I need to not forget to heal. Oh, man. That was my fault. I'm sorry, I'm not talking very much. I'd rather... Damn, okay. Oh, shit. That was it? Oh! Oh, I was expecting more. Yay! Congratulations, I beat the game. Sorry, it was John Knight beated. Yeah. This is the final fight. L shift. Okay. Yay! Cool. Would it break the seals? They cannot be undone. They must be undone. Let us sleep, little shadow. Return to your darkness. Allow us our peace. Ah! The spirits! How many times did it take? 3? That's not bad at all. Yay! You should be mayor. Okay. I'll need to get used to that one. Fuck! Bro. Yeah. The very first one. That was pretty bad. Wait a minute. Did it save? I think it did. Okay. Where to now? Yay! I remember exploring this area. I explored everything and I couldn't figure out where to go next. So... Hi.
Goa, 누도 알라 Mac.
Oh, hello there. It seems we both tread far from the path. I can hardly believe those dusty old highways led to such a lush and lively place. This building suggests some form of worship, though its idol has clearly been long forgotten. Doubles equally well for a moment's respite. I also love Quarrel. Quarrel, our beloved. Ah! I hate this guy. Is this even worth it? There we go. That was completely useless. Well, maybe not. That was completely useless. God damn it. All right. Map updated. Let's see. Wow. Is that it? That's it? Yeah, that is a comeback in the later in the game type area. Come back in the later, yeah. I'm too pro with English. Oh, I forgot that there's this area over here. Let's see. This is the area I came from. Oh, man. Okay. This is about as far as I got last time I played. That is some big stomping. Let's go up and to the right? Question mark? What is that? Up that way. Oh. Hi. Let's see. My bad. This way. Oh, there are new areas I can go to. Wait, we'll see, we'll see. I gotta go back and check all the old areas. I'm gonna dash mid-air. Okay. Thank you, soldier. Too pro. Wow. Okay. I? To the right. I got myself lost. Let's see. I really honestly... Let's not do that again. I don't know what I was gonna say. I'm full of shit. Ah, man. That's why there's nothing here. All right. That was my bad. There you go. New areas. Have I been to this area even? I feel like I would have gotten this if I was. I don't recognize this. God damn it. Yeah, I feel like I totally would have gotten these if I had been to this area before. Let's go over here. Oh! Oops. Woo! Oh! Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Don't die and lose all my money. Thanks.
把马走猪肉。
Really, really helping here. Shut up. You did the one thing I told you not to do. Shut up. Well, fuck! Okay, now this is fine. Actually, that was an overreaction. Oh. Oh, wait, I can't reach that one yet. I need to go this way. Okay, middle and up. Middle and up. Now don't die on my way to the money. I'll try. Not to. I'll try not to. I'll try not to. Ooh, I need to not rest here. I did this last time too. Oh, whiny. Damn it. Okay. Which side did I go on? It was up. Oh wait, I think I do need to go this way. No, I don't. And I was wrong. Let me go all the way back. I hear you. Hold on. I've got a cat yelling at my door. Man, how did I get there? Whoa. God damn it. I don't want to hear any attitude. There we go. See? I'm pro with it. Fuck. 666. Oh, 67. Hey, yo. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. How many times does it take to kit these guys? I forgot I don't need to wait. Except for being completely out of mana. Oh, okay. That wasn't too bad. And then... Come on! Come on! Oh, fuck. Don't come on. Oh, I'm gonna die. The camera! No! Oh my god, the camera's throwing me off. Fuck me! Dude! I should not be struggling with this. Why is the little bastard not rolling? Hold on, I'm gonna collect this money. 2, 3. Fuck! I wasted it! He deactivated. Hold on. I stopped to let Mimsy out because she was getting pissed off and she was ringing the bell a million times, which was pissing me off, and I kept dying. Okay, this is fine. This is okay. This is actually character progression or character development. And don't stare at me. Don't stare at me. Let's see. Oh my god. Bro. This is fine. I have 0 map, but it's okay. I'm actually hungry. I'm a little hungry. Oh. Is this in the right direction? No, it's not! This is the wrong direction! Automod fucking held that message. 0 map, 0 money, 0 bitches, 0 food. I'm fighting for my life. Remember, I gotta go up. This way. No! God damn it. This was actually a tactic to get more coins. I meant to do that. And now I need to do that all over again, but with a fresh mind, and then the wisdom of dying 3 other times. Oh! Oh, you don't say. I only have to redo this one side. Let's see. I gotta lock in. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta lock in. I'm gonna end up fucking this up again. How am I having more trouble with this than I did Hornet? Okay. See? Just don't die. Thanks. Super helpful, actually. Wow! What's this? Boulder shell. Oh, that's the armor! Oh, they're all over the back area. Are they asleep or are they dead? Ah, I need to revisit this later so I can skip a wall. Oh, they dead? Damn. I thought they looked like this when they're dead. I just tried Minecraft. God damn it. Can I... Am I cooked? I may... No fucking way. Okay. Okay, so this area is explored. Yay! Down. Where am I now? Is that correct? That's correct. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Spitting tobacco at me.
Yep.
There you go. And wait. Wow. Okay. I'm directionally challenged. I'm focusing it real hard. Oh, fuck me. Come on. Wait, do I go down? No, this is correct. This is correct, guys. I've got this. No, I don't. What the hell was that? I tried dashing. That was the soul burst thing. Oh, 1 second. My sister was trying to get something for her fish tank. Apparently the first rocks that I gave her, too much clay. She's cooked? No, I'm not. I'm not cooked. I'm actually, raw? Oh, I'm actually so unbelievably not cooked. Burnt? That's crazy. That's so mean. What is that, acid? Glad I didn't jump straight into that. Oh! Ah! Okay. How have I not been over here yet? I totally thought I explored this. See that? I'm just that good at the game. Whoa. Ah! That is the sound of cold hard cash. My favorite noise. She's such a gamer. Yeah. Yeah, I'm such a gamer. There we go. Is it just gonna... Oh. I didn't realize it was gonna reappear on this one. I was like, is it just gonna reappear on the tiny little... No. It won't. There we go. Oh, man. I think one of these days I'd like to stream Skyrim. It's been years since I've played it. And I've got a feeling it'll be very fun. There's all my money. That's okay. Where am I now? Oh. Wait, is there a down section? This doesn't go down further. Oh, I gotta check out that chamber all the way down there. I guess I'm going back. Oh, you know what? I'll just loop around because there's modded Skyrim with 1,000+ mods. I was gonna play it vanilla. I've never played it modded, actually. It'd be interesting. I have no idea what kind of mods there are for Skyrim. Aside from the 6 mods. Those are crazy. Not that I've used them. Oh! Oh, it shows that whole area now. Did I miss a bench up there? Huh? I've heard about them. I've heard about them. That sounds suspicious, but I swear I've only heard about them. Ah, God damn it. Ah. Man, everything's trying to kill me. Forgotten Crossroads. Oh, there's something down there. Let's see. Yeah, there's something down there to the, like, very lower right. Let's see what that is. Further. What's down there? Oh. Here? Oh. Oh, wait. Ah, man. I didn't mean to do that. Oh. Sigh. I can't do that. I wish I could replicate. Whoa. I don't know what I was trying to say. I wish I could replicate that noise. It seems painful to like constantly headbutt things like that, right? Acid? No, that's not acid. Oh, wait. I fixed that problem already. Right. Right hand side. Bro. Jeez. Okay, this way. Oh, wait. How have I not been up here? Oh. Tiny squib. You approach fearless. Are you a hunter like me? Do you feel the urge inside to stalk, to kill, to understand? Then take it, my journal. It will aid you. At first, the text may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words. Venture the depths of this land and slay its beasts. Prove yourself worthy to mark the bear of the hunter. That's so cool. Hunter's Journal. Defeat enemies to add new entries to the journal and decipher the hunter's notes. That's so cool! Little squib. Little squib, you may have overcome a few creatures, but you are only just beginning. Don't delay. Descend into the belly of this world and hunt down the life you find. Thank you! I'm a little haunted by how huge he is. Just a little. Ah! Oh! Okay. Where am I going? There's an... Oh! There's another tiny little spot. Oh, okay. Ah! No fucking way. Bro. Yay! Oh my god. This is fine. This is okay. I am going to... It was like a bitch slap. Where is it? Through there. Down? Oh, I see. Is this a music transition? What's this? Oh, wait. Yeah, a bench. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Cool, 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 cool. Ah! Oh, these were the bitches I hated. Oh my god, I hate these things. Oh. That's a body. I hate those things so much. Okay. It's very dark in here. Oh, man. There we go. One, two, three. Ooh. Okay. What's this? I don't like this, actually. Ah! God damn it. Am I able to light it up? No. Not actually. Okay. Is there a glow ring I'm supposed to have? I'll revisit that later. Have I howled the night? Yeah, I have actually. Ah! I defeated Hornet in like 3 attempts. So I think that was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah! I love the jellyfish area. Took you 1.5 not to flex. Yeah, good for you. Oh, I forgot they did that. Okay, the bank is down here. Ooh. Fuck! Oh. That's okay. That's fine. I have a map update. That's okay. That was goofy of me. I completely forgot to check my health. Where am I going? It's the wrong direction, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, this is okay. Since I know where the bank is, let's see what this is. Ooh. Wow. I see. I'm learning. So let me... Perhaps they don't take a lot to kill? Mayhaps? Oh, wait, this is not the right direction. Ooh. Roar. Oh, shit. Oh, word. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. Bro, he's aggressive. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm gonna end up dying. That was not the direction. Oh my god, I forgot I died down there. No, you're right. Hold on. I completely forgot that. Yeah, hold on. I should go get my money back. I agree. I think that's actually very smart. $100? It was like 800. I definitely would have lost it. It was almost 1K. Hold on. Ooh, okay. Cool. Wait, I thought the bank was here. Oh, man. Oh, you know what? Fuck! Okay. I think that it's either right there or it's somewhere else. I may be cooked. No fucking way! The knockback threw me into the acid. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. That was the wrong direction. First of all. Let's try that again. And I'm gonna remember to get my money this time because I am very close to reaching the bank. I would like to deposit all of my money. Side it's on. Okay. So the bank's not over there. Train station. You can dash under it. I don't think I can because the tentacles do damage. Ooh. Not my smartest move. The bank is not in the green area. It's by the train station in the purple area, just at the very beginning of the purple area. Right here. Here we go.
Oh, Bakura Finello.
Hello, dearie. I was about to close up shop and run until you came along. I provide a banking service if you're interested. Since losing one Geo is a terrible thing, and it's much more likely if you carry it on yourself, my vault is much more secure. I will open an account. Yeah.
Bada, baba.
Wait. Oh, I clicked the wrong button.
Bada, baba.
Wait.
Gadina. Bada,
wait, what did I, oh wait, I think I'm supposed to hit enter.
Gadina.
I'm forgetting my own keybinds. There we go.
Destio, Geo.
Deposit.
Geo, Kala.
Oh fuck.
Destio,
I keep forgetting
Geo.
to hit enter. Yeah, she did deny my account. Yay! Okay. Cool, guys. Train station. I love this train station in particular. Isn't this something? I'd not expect to discover so huge a stag station after that foggy descent. The bugs of Hallownest must have been an impressive lot, building such grand structures so far into these wilds. It seems the dangerous creatures haven't yet made up their way up here. It's the perfect place for a quick rest. This was always, like, last time I played, this was my favorite train station. Oh, oops. let me grab my money. I really like the noise that makes. It do be nice. It do be nice. Let's see. I remember I had difficulties with the lightning bugs.
Geo. Geo, Kalala.
Geo, Kalala. Kalala. Why is that little divot there? I wonder. Oh! Hi, Willow. Oh, come in search of treats, have you? I chanced upon a unique little fungus growing right above us. I found it only in this station, and the taste is just divine. She's so cute. Here we go. Grandpa! You've opened several stag stations now, haven't you? I'm thankful for the opportunity to once more travel through the kingdom. As I visit more places, I feel my memories returning to me, like the stagways of my mind are running once more. Continue to open the stations, and you'll have my deepest gratitude. I'll do everything I can! Ah, this gladdens me. The Queen's Station has opened once more. This place was a bustling hub of travel, well placed for travelers visiting the outer edges of the land. You're quite the explorer to find this place. Let's go to Dirtmouth. I love the little animation. Did you visit that temple? A strange building, I've heard, though I never dared the journey myself. The braver among us went there to pray and felt at peace within the walls. After a while, they stopped going. I wonder what changed. You there, why are you skulking in the shadows? Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. I am Zodi the Mighty, a knight of the great renown. Tremble before me. While you were hiding here in your dingy little village, I ventured into the dark pit below us and slew a great beast. It had sharp mandibles and atrocious manners. Yes, yes, all the glory to me. But I don't have time for your adulation. I must rest and prepare for my next journey down. Brother. Oh! Pale thing, you wear that nail with ease. If you're in search of combat, you'll find no great warriors in this decaying burrow. I've heard an arena exists somewhere below, built for our like. Meet me there, and I will test what skills you possess. I'll be heading down soon. Come and find me if you dare. Ooh! You don't say. I guess I know what I'm doing next. I'm finding an arena. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. 2 coins. Oh. I was gonna say 2 coins, 1 for each child. Yay! I saved 3. Let's see. Have you found the shopkeeper? Not the one that sells the upgrades. I've not found that one. I do sell his children back to him. Sickening. That's the state of this economy. Oop. My bad. Also my bad. I think there's a couple places down here that I haven't been able to quite get into, so I'm gonna double check them real quick. Has anything changed in here? No. Are these the 3 spirits that I saw earlier? Are those their masks? I don't remember. I was paying attention. Ooh, oops. Did I already get this? Was this useless? Oh. will just walk off and give me room to... Oh, no, he won't. Oh my god, I'm not... Bro. No fucking way. I got myself stuck. Drive safe! Hi, Mark. Drive safe. Bro, that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. Oh, is there anything in here?
Papanada.
Papanada. I don't need those. Oh, wait. Did I?
Papanada.
Scarab. Oh, these are just markers that I can place down, I think. I don't need those. Empanada. Empanada sounds so good. Here we go. Kerchuk. Give me my soul back. Okay. Where am I going? This way. The mines! The mines! I don't mind if I do. What's this? Oh, right. I remember. There was like, another thing. I think I need to find the shop to get the upgrade to get that. I feel that may lead me to where I want to go. Those crystals out there are worth a fair bit, but I have a feeling there's something even more valuable hidden just a bit deeper. I can almost smell it. I love you! She's so cute. Oh, what's this? Not important. Where now? I will go down into the freight. I'm just exploring these blank areas now. I've got areas that aren't like appearing on my map. Oops. My bad. Oh, this is why. I can't fucking see. Oh. Oh, I can't even open the gate. What is that? Is it gonna walk over to me? No, it got further away. Maybe you can try opening your eyes. Shut up! My eyes are open! That bottom right bench on the map. Okay. Bro. Bottom right bench on the map. What's this? Have I been here before? Oh, I definitely have. Here? No. Bottom right bench. What? Aw, man. Is there anything over here I can kill real quick? What's this? Easy boss? Alright. I'll do the easy boss in a second. Since you beat Hornet in like 30 tries. I don't know. I'm challenged in other ways. I'm proud of that, but... Okay, I see, I see. Oh. Easy boss. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right, dash. I keep forgetting that exists. I keep like walking directly into his attacks. Wah! True. Spam dash a lot, especially when getting around. Yeah. Which way am I going? Down. This way. Okay. Was this right? Yeah. And then I'll get my soul. I forget the dash is unlimited. You're actually challenged into this game. It feels like quite an issue. Yeah. I'm also directionally challenged, and it is a big issue. Okay, I did try that. Oh, okay. I was just unlucky the first time. Let me out! Bro. There we go. Is that a mask where they literally just piled in? Ah! Oh, there it is. Okay. Oop. Two, three. How do you feel now that you've killed a mother and its babies? Pretty freaking alive. I feel great. skill issue on her part. This one? Oh.
Oh, tile.
Wield your nail like a club. Ismay, how much deeper do we have to go? Bro. I see. This is an old village. What a strange dream to have led me down here. If you hadn't found me, I don't think I would have ever awoken. I'm Sly. Usually I live an uneventful life up in Dirtmouth. The air in these ruins doesn't agree with me, so I'd best be getting back. If you return above and come and see me, I'm probably the friendliest face left there, and I can thank you properly for your good deed. Aw. Hi, Sly. You're so cute. Interesting. So I feel like I may have been correct. He had that orange powder, or I think it's like spores. He had those orange spores around his head and he was dizzied, and that makes me feel like I was right in my assumption that the other creatures down here that have that orange powder and explode would be like normal creatures if they weren't exposed to this area. Something along those lines. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Oh wait, hold on. Bench. There we go. Oh, you surprised me. Hello, hello. Come in, sweetling. Come in and make yourself at home. I'm Salubra, and this is my cozy little charm store. Did the townsfolk tell you to come and visit me? Yes. This is a lovely little village, isn't it? Warm and intimate and full of life. What were we talking about? Oh yes, charms. I can see you've started your own collection. Very nice. I'll show you some of my own, and you can take one home if you'd like. Nice. Okay. This is a special item for those who love charms as much as I do. Once you own 5 charms, I'll gladly sell it to you. You only need 2 more, so keep collecting. 7 more, 15 more, 22 more. How many fucking charms do I need to finish this game? Guys, be honest with me. Lifeblood heart. Have you ever drunk that bright blue liquid lifeblood? It's a bit of a taboo, but it makes you feel much healthier, doesn't it? This charm seeps lifeblood and will certainly improve your constitution. Oh, just buy the charms I need. Okay. They are very useful. That nail you wield is adorable, but do you feel like it can be a little longer? Damn. Oh, go on, take this charm home with you. Suddenly your enemies will be within reach. Love the simple design on this little fellow. Very classy. Wear it and you'll be able to stay firmly in place when swinging your little nail around. Are you a spellcaster, you little scoundrel? If you ever learn any spells, you should buy this charm yourself. I heard it'll make a spell much stronger. And then quick focus. I heard this crystal helps you focus, so if that's something you... Interesting. Let's get steady body first. Yeah. Let's see, what's in my inventory? I haven't even looked. Long nail's probably your favorite one there. Honestly, that's completely valid. Oh, right, I've got this one. Not indestructible and will shatter if it absorbs too much damage. Okay. Ooh, okay, I need to take one of these off. Whispers its location to the bear whenever the map is open, allowing wanderers to pinpoint their current location. Draws more soul from the world around them. Increases the amount of soul gained when striking an enemy with the nail. I'm directionally challenged, so I will probably swap this out. Mayhaps. I can do one more. Oh, okay. I have 3 notches. Long nail. I'll get the long nail next. Let me go to the bank. This isn't too much of a hassle to get down here. Oops. I forgot what specifically helps me earn the, Wait, how do we get out? Oh, it's down here. When you get the ability to over-equip charms. Yeah, I'll be able to get more charms later. I'm not particularly one about the... Oh, you take more damage. I'll check... Oh, yeah, I'll check the shop in town. Let me pick up my money first. I'll go all the way up. Since my money is in the, station. Or by the station. Oops. That was completely the wrong direction. No fucking way. Bro. No way. Okay. Ah! Okay. And try this again. There we go. Up. There you go. This way. Yeah, I can't take that map thing off. I think I would die. Compass is the best charm in the game. It is. No, it actually is. Train station. The only charm you need, in my opinion, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is the only charm I need. Oops. This place is full of travelers coming and going. Queen Station. Oops. There we go. Apparently there's actually an indicator. I was supposed to be clicking space. Not enter. Enter worked, but space is like right where my hand is, so that one would have been much more convenient had I realized. Here we go.
Just you, Gio.
Withdraw. All of it. YOLO.
Gio, Kalala.
It's gonna be absolutely sickening if I die on the way down. Ka-chunk. I love the little stag beetle signs. They're so cute. Oops. I gotta go up here. You know what sounds really tasty right now? I think chicken pot pie sounds absolutely delightful. I don't think I've had that for like quite a while. I think single serving chicken pot pies, fantastic invention. Journal updated. Journal? Ooh. Dull and pathetic, hardly worth killing. Timid scavenger that crawls through the caverns looking for food. A venge fly is a flying predator that pursues its prey relentlessly. This fierce little hunter will bravely chase down creatures many times its size. Admirable. It is weak though, and I've devoured hundreds of them with little effort or care. A vengeful fly king, patriarch of the vengeful fly colony, swoops at intruders and cries for reinforcements if threatened. A gruzzer, simple-minded creature that haphazardly buzzes, bumping into things. They only seem dimly aware of their surroundings, making them easy prey to cut your fangs on. What is it that guides them on their paths? It's almost as if they seem to search for ways to die. A gruzmother, mature gruzzer that carries its young in its belly, attacks by hurling its huge body around. A tick-tick. They're called tick-ticks? That's so cute! Uses its sharp, small claws to climb along the walls and roofs. Spends its time tapping away its way through the roads and caverns near the surface of this kingdom. If you're patient, you can wait for it to come to you and pick it off. Aspid hunter. Bests its prey by spitting corrosive liquid, often hunts in packs. Aspid mother carries the eggs of its young inside its belly. It can hatch and birth its young as needed to deal with intruders. A hatchling recently birthed. These young aspid are instinctively swarm around intruders. Remains of a bug animated by a strange force wanders the roads where it once lived. These civilized bugs of Hollow Nest were weak in life, and now they are equally weak in death. Send them back to the dirt where they were born in. Okay, so it's not that they were possessed, they were eaten, and these are animated. That's so interesting. These bugs have an arrogant air about them, even after dying. Overly proud of their long horns. I enjoy snapping them off. And then Husk Bully, Husk Warrior, Husk Guard, False Knight. Maggot driven by a strange force, inhabits a stolen armored shell. Weak creatures love to steal the strength of others. Their lives are brief and fearful, and they yearn to have the power to dominate those who have dominated them. A Balder. Young hunters delight in catching these creatures and rolling them around for sport. I encourage you to indulge yourself if the fancy strikes you. An elder boulder. As they age, these creatures become too heavy and lumpy to roll around freely. Instead, they curl up and hide from the world. What do they think in there, wrapped up inside themselves? More carefree at times, perhaps. Moss creep. A weakling that covers itself in leaves to appear larger, hides amongst the undergrowth. Cute. A moss skin. Charges foes. Volatile moss skin. A fool eater. Carnivorous plant. A squit. That's cute. Obel. That slows flying bug. Moss charger, timid frightened, that covers itself in huge clumps of moss, a moss knight, a Duranda, Uoma, smallest jelly form, passive and unaware, but pulsing with dangerous electric charge, and Uma, passive outer being, protecting an aggressive explosive core. Hornets, defeat one more to decipher the hunter's notes. That blows. I gotta fight her again. Skilled protector of Halonest's ruins, wields a needle and thread. Shade, echo of previous life, defeat it to retake its power and become whole. Each of us leaves an imprint of something when we die, a stain on the world. I don't know how much longer this kingdom can bear the weight of so many past lives. Interesting. Okay. Whoosh. Lore! Lore dump! Okay, so those big jellyfish are called Uma. And then the little one are called Uoma, which very, very cute, if you ask me. And I think it's really good for me to know that the things they're covered in moss, specifically. Oop. Not this way. I think it's actually this way. Uma, like the horse girls? Yeah! Uma Masume! It's Uma Masume, guys! Here we go. Let's see. Long nail. Yes. Buy this charm notch and you'll be able to wear more of your charms at once. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Oh. Woohoo! Let's see what this range is like. Whoa! Dang. I still got hit, but that's a very far range. I like that. Okay, there is another notch behind the gates at the train station. I just am unsure of how to retrieve that right now. But for now, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Instead, I'm going to go see if there's anything up top. I think Sly, he said his name was. Sly is selling things, so I will see what he's about. Bro. No way! There we go. I'll see what Sly's about and see what he's selling. Very curious. He's so cute. He's got these like big bug eyes. The big bug eyes. And he's tiny. Left. I almost said right. I'm going left. I need to remember I don't need to be so close to them anymore. Sly is a bit sly. I'll keep that in mind. Shockingly, that does make sense. Ooh, you see the range on that? Wow. I'm very excited for the one that makes me glow. was phrased as a question, but that was a statement. I'm very excited for the one that makes me glow. Over here. Yeah. Hi! He's so cute! I knew we'd meet again. How do you like my cozy little store? I've made myself pretty comfortable here, selling old trinkets to travelers like yourself. If you're planning a trip below, I have several items that may improve your chance of survival. Ah. I see. Rancid egg. Creature must have laid it. Life in Hallownest can be tough. Grants you time to recover after taking damage. Leaving a lot of Geo behind. Okay. There's one that makes you shoot out bugs instead of soul attacks. I want that. One day. Gathering Swarm is really useful. I don't have... So, here's the thing. I don't have the notches for more crap right now. Unfortunately. Okay. I'll buy the egg. Yeah, I just bought a notch and then I put something else on. So, check it. I bought this notch. I bought that notch, the fourth one, and then I immediately put on long nail. So I have these ones already. I don't have room for anything else at the moment. You guys are so bossy. I'm not gonna replace Steady Body. I've already died to knock back once. And I'm fine picking up my money. I'm actually very good at it. And if it falls into the acid, that's just not how... I just wasn't meant to get it. Let me see here. Don't overcharm. I saw a lot of Geo that was left behind. Shut up. I don't care. Leave me alone. I got the amount of Geo that matters. Magic Quill, City Crest. Oh, fit into a slot. Fatty rancid egg from an unknown creature emits a powerful stench of decay, generally not considered edible. I wonder who's gonna eat that. Old nail. Oh. Vengeful spirit. Focus. Math. Where do I want to go? To the right. Thanks. Very helpful. Far right of Dirtmouth. Yeah, I definitely have that unlocked. Actually, I think I might explore the jellyfish area. I think I'm gonna head there. I don't have anything else to spend my money on at the moment, so I'm going to... Oop, that's not the right direction. Where am I going? I'm gonna deposit my money real quick. And then after that... See that? Maybe that's a mask fragment. Ooh, I don't have a map for this area. Maybe that's a mask fragment instead of a notch. We'll see. Chunk. Just deposit this. Imagine depositing money. I know.
Destio, Gio.
I dream of the day this can be my reality.
Gio, Kalala.
Stay safe. I will. Are there multiple banks? Or do I get a raise once I hit a certain amount? That's the Uoma. The Uma. My bad. I don't know why I said my bad. That was completely intentional on my part. I love the underwater noise. Ah! You never used the bank? Why? Okay, I can't access this area, but I can, the area above it. Just carrying everything on you is crazy. Oh, I can dash under it. What am I thinking? Here we go. Oop. Oh, I forgot it did that. Ah. Oh. Yeah, I'm cooked. One, two, three. Impressive parkour skill you got? Shut up. Ah! Oh man, you jinxed me. I blame you. Okay. Let's go get that bad boy. My soul. Ah. I'm getting a little trigger happy with the sprint. Boy, I am sure I'm sure glad I deposited all my money. It's really nice that I was able to use the bank. What a convenient feature that should be utilized. Nice. That was nice. Super smooth, guys. Yeah, I had a hard time with the fireflies last time too. Not... Did I go too high? I went too high. Ooh. Ah! My bad. Okay. Oh my god, I thought there was a hidden under there. I misread that. I thought there was a hidden area under there. I was completely wrong. Ooh, I should have sprinted. Hold on, I can dash. Hopefully there's something over here I can kill. That's very cute, actually. Why was its voice so deep? That was a very deep voice. I don't have a map, okay. That, I need the wall jump. What is that noise? Oh. Okay. This is a later me issue. Mm-hmm. I think I have like a feeling I know. I think it's like a shadow dash thing that I need. But it's not accessible to me right now. So this area I sort of wasted my time with, but that's okay. You learn and you live. Ooh. Hi, Corduroy. Please don't step on my keyboard. Ah! That wasn't his fault. That was my fault. I'm gonna defend him there. The big shadow dash is quite a bit into the game. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go all the way back then. That's all right. Oh, yay! I don't think I ever went to this area. This is the first Hallow Nest seal. Ooh, what's that? Oh, are there other seals? The official seal of the Kingdom of Hallownest, symbolizing the authority of the king and his knights. A relic from Hallownest's past, this item now holds little value except for those dedicated to the kingdom's history. Very cool. Where can I? Right over. Okay. That was fun. Yay! So I'm gonna go here. I remember encountering that thing. It was in between me and the... Oh, this is a green path. Okay. It was between me and the... Kim! This is where it was. Because I remember I was like trying to figure out how to get the map here. And this is in the way, because he's on that side. Okay. Yeah. Oop. So I'm going to... I don't think I can explore this area. I think last time I played, I got really, really stuck on this area. I think it's just so pretty that I really wanted to explore it and make it work, but it's just not accessible to me right now. So I am going to go back to Wolf. Let's go back to Dirtmouth. Have I gone deeper into the mines? The mines are not accessible to me. I can't go deeper into the mines because I don't have the move to go deeper into the mines. Oh, hello. Using these old lines, a real warrior carries himself to combat. He has no needs for such convenience. Whatever. We're sharing the same bench. What's that say about you? Where am I? Let's go. Let's try going down and left. I don't remember what's down there. Oh, I see. That's why. I can't even travel over here yet. Maybe that hot spring, maybe it like loops around, but I don't know if it does. I might be Googling this later, guys. This might be a Google thing. Oops. Now you gotta go into the city. Yeah. I don't know, I went into, like, topside, and there wasn't anything really new up there, and that's about all the city I have access to right now. As far as I'm aware, at least. So, let's go this way. I will definitely... Okay. If I don't figure it out, I will definitely, Google it. I'll probably ask for more direction next time I hop on. I'm gonna... I actually couldn't go up there. I'm gonna go to that empty area next to the hot springs and see if that's something I can travel, and afterwards, if it's not, especially, I think I may call it for tonight. Getting a little close. It's been about 2 hours. I won't lie. Minecraft has a grip on my brain right now. It's pretty bad. I'd help you with directions, but unfortunately, I do be directionally challenged. It's okay, brother. Me too. I am also directionally challenged, and I would never put somebody in that position. Whoop. What is over here? Why did I do that? Ooh. There we go. Oh, I already got this. Can hit those metal spikes and bounce. I know I can. Unfortunately, I hate doing that. And it's not within my usual skill set. Oh, man. Oh, I do have the long nail now. Is it easier? Oop. What's this way? Let's do the hot spring real quick. If it's easier, hold on, let me... Before I get off, where's the caterpillar? There's a caterpillar that I need to, get. Where I need to, like, bounce on the metal spikes. I don't even remember where it is. Oops. I hear that shard thing. I see it. Can I access that? Not right now. Ooh, can I get that? Ah, maybe there's another way. There is not. I think I need a wall jump. Oh, when will I get my wall jump? I miss it every day. This way? Maybe it's up further. I really don't remember where the caterpillar is. Oops. How did I do that? Actually, you know what? I'm blaming my spacebar because I did click. I bet I can jump up here. I bet that's a secret area. I'm really trying to kill myself. Oh! I can dash now. There's one caterpillar. And then there's one more somewhere. I actually think it's on the right-hand side. That's a problem for later. Oh, what's over here? stone door with a simple lock. Oh, I see. That's a problem for a later day. I am gonna call it. Thank you so much for everybody that joined, as usual. I always really appreciate your guys' support, so thank you. And I hope everybody has a really good night. Good night.